There have been some significant workflow enhancements, feature and performance improvements in MeshFusion for 11.2. In order to improve the speed of interaction when editing complex Fusion models, a new workflow option called Draft Unions has been added. This will automatically and adaptively split the Fusion item into active and inactive parts. When a mesh contributing to the Fusion model is moved or edited, the union or seam geometry is temporarily disabled. There are 3 draft union modes. Dynamic separation splits the model based on source mesh selection. Full separation will separate the model into as many parts as possible, and off will reincorporate all parts and restore all the strips. In 11.2, MeshFusion now supports P-sub edge-weighted source geometry. When an edge-weighted mesh is added to a Fusion item, Fusion adds edge loops whilst leaving the source geometry unchanged. Although the resulting simulation will not perfectly mimic the weighted surface, it does result in a mesh that more effectively handles variable edge weights and produces a mesh with a much lower poly count than the equivalent frozen P-sub mesh. There is now a new method of creating material polygon tags in MeshFusion. Per source mesh item is used when the mesh mode is set to airtight final item parts. This will create a material tag based on all the polygons generated by each source mesh. This will usually create less material tags and will allow you to more predictably assign material tags based on the source geometry. The main Fusion Pie menu has been updated. Some older, outdated options have been removed, and the essential Fusion editing command has been added. 2 new MeshFusion assembly presets have been added. Rib trim creates an array of blocks based on a pattern, and can be used for creating structural ribbing, window canopy framing, and related geometries. It could also be used as a primary source mesh for creating patterns, plating, or tiling. And finally, elbow pipe is an assembly for creating piping consisting of straight segments with relatively short tight turns, with the option of adding elbow geometry at those bent sections.